principal. Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Golez.
Thank you, thank you. You know, I've always wondered how a classroom of the LaSalle looks like. This is my first time. Okay naman.
Yeah.
It's okay. Your sound system needs a little improvement, though. Yeah. And I noticed that you don't talk too much, not like some Athenians I know. The Athenians I know, they talk too much, they speak for hours non-stop. So I guess the Sallians are a lot better than Athenians. Tama ba? And you've always been beating them in volleyball, in soccer, although lately sa basketball, medyo nahirapan kayo. Tama? Okay, this morning, you know, RV, when he talked to me, and when I read the briefing materials, I was told that I was supposed to talk about Christian principles and values. This is supposed to be a Christian Living Week, and about a person of faith, service, and communion. That's your topic, di ba? But of course, on the side, it's also very important to talk about parent-son relationship. So I'll try to talk about that. But I'd like to focus on faith, on service, and communion, the way you defined it in your observance of Christian Living Week. You know, I was not like you. I was not raised in a Catholic school or a school run by religious organizations. I went to public schools most of my life. But I was very fortunate that I was raised by a mother who was very strong in religion, in spirituality and faith. And she was the one who introduced me to the power of prayer early in my life. By the way, I hope you don't mind, I'm having this session videoed and some photographs taken. Tonight I'm going to upload the video in my YouTube. Is that okay with you? And to upload the pictures in my Facebook. I posted it again. Sir Rafi, okay ba yan? I think it was on Facebook. So that you can visit my Facebook account, Roilo Golez, and tag your names there. If you find your, like kung naman picture mo mga tao dito para makita nila sarili nila sa Facebook. Okay lang ba, Sir Rafi? Okay lang, no? No prohibition here in LaSalle about Facebook. No prohibition. Okay, I was saying, I was raised by my mother, who was very strong in religion. Although, as I said, I did not study lengthily in the religious school like what you have here in LaSalle. And she was the one who introduced me to the power of prayer. And especially in going to places like Quiapo and other more well-known places of worship and prayer. You know, the reason for that is, you know, we came from Romblon. My parents were public school teachers in Romblon, but they decided to change their lives from the very rural setting to maybe something more like in the city. So we transferred to Quezon City to restart our lives. But because of that, they were displaced. Medyo nagbago ng konti ang buhay nila, and my mother had to look for a job here in the Metro Manila area. And looking for a job needed the patience of having to go from one office to another, going to a politician, asking for a recommendation, and of course, praying. So that's when I saw how my mother was so prayerful going to Quiapo. So job hunting, that's where I learned also that sabi nga nila, no? You pray like everything depends on God up there, but you work as though everything depends on yourself. I am a believer in that principle. Now, on the other hand, I went to public schools not run by religious people or brothers or nuns. But my teachers and principals were the old-fashioned type, not like today. When I say old-fashioned, they're also very religious. They also believe in prayer, and I would often encounter them in church. And there, I continued my introduction to the meaning of spirituality, which I consider very important in my life, and I guess to all of us here. And you know what? I remember that I went through a lot of crossroads in my life. Like, for example, where should I go to college? Going through some very difficult trials like exams, taking the entrance examination for the University of the Philippines, and later Philippine Military Academy, then later United States Naval Academy, where I finally graduated. And to prepare for all of this, I had to pray a lot. I had to ask for support from God up there. Always guided by prayer. You know, I finally went to the U.S. Naval Academy. You know, when I went to the U.S. Naval Academy, my impression at the start was that the U.S. Naval Academy, being an American institution, was a very liberal institution. Maybe not as old-fashioned as a Philippine institution, democratic, very modern thinking. Akala ko, hindi na masyadong religious yung mga tao dahil pag nanonood ka ng mga movies about the American way of life, I had the impression that religion was not a priority in the American setting, but I was wrong. You know, I found out that the U.S. Naval Academy was a very conservative institution, and it continues to be a very conservative institution. When I say conservative, God and country, these are the prevailing aspects in the way of life of those in the service, starting from life in the Naval Academy, a very respected U.S. service institution, up to serving as a military man or as a leader in the government. Why do I say that? Sayang, hindi ko nadala yung mga pictures, no? You know, one of the most attractive and one of the most impressive structures in our campus is the Academy Chapel. It is called a chapel. When you say chapel, parang sinabi parang maliit, no? But actually, it looks more like a cathedral. It's huge. It has a big dome, like the dome of the Capitol Hill or the dome of the St. Peter's Basilica. That is how important that institution was to our life in the Naval Academy. And it was mandatory for us to go to church every Sunday. Pag mag-absent ka sa church doon, you get punished. Hindi bawal mag-absent sa... You have to go to a service whether you're a Catholic, or a Protestant, or of Jewish belief, whatever. They will always provide for your requirements as someone who has faith. Okay, and then also, in the military, if you look at the history of the military, even in the Philippine Revolution, faith was very important. It was very ironical that the Katipuneros, the Philippine Army under General Del Pilar, under Ginaldo, were fighting the Spaniards. And you would think that when the Filipinos rose against the Spaniards, one of the things that they would be rejecting and discarding would be religion introduced to us.